The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting off with Steve Schultz and Henrietta. Steve, what's going on there?
So this is my first time on since we passed the budget for 2025. As I had mentioned at a number of meetings, we were expecting an increase when you had something like a 19% increase in costs for retirement, 9% increase in payroll. I think it was an 11 or 12% increase in, no, I think I take it back. It was closer to 16% for healthcare, 11% was other insurance. But we were able to keep it low, so we increased by about $97,000. Our tax rate will still be below $1. It's going to be 99 cents per thousand. But basically, it was an increase of about 1.28%. In 2023 election, referendum was passed that increased the levy by 200,000, with that extra 200,000 going towards improvements in the parks and recreation, specifically earmarked for building a new spray park last year, and this year it's going towards a new band shell. The current the canvas band shell is on its last legs. Through an incentive zoning program with Green Spark, they're actually going to build us the new roof, and the rest of the money is going to build the walls. The spray park itself is coming along. For those who don't remember, it was delayed because it first came in over budget, so we had to we were able to get it under budget by shrinking the changing room building, not the spray pad itself. But that building is, in fact, the roof was just going up, and a good portion of it is in place. It's a masonry building, so the walls go up first and then the trusses go on top. And the spray park fixtures are actually going in, so should be operational. You know, if it wasn't a cold winter, we could be running it in a month or so. But so it'll be open next spring. The golf course is shutting down next week. It was a good first year of operation. We also got a lot of improvements made. All new irrigation system, all the new sand traps. We did have a rating basically remeasured and re-rated by the professional golf. I don't remember their acronym, but they were quite impressed with the changes that were made, and made some recommendations on additional tee boxes, so we'll be putting those in next year. And overall, it's doing well. As expected, it did not break even, but we weren't expecting that in the first year. The decline at the golf course meant that a lot of people had gone away from it and were starting to, basically every month we were growing our membership, I guess you would call it, or attendance. So we expect to hopefully be hit the break-even point next year. We are still looking at a new clubhouse. We've been designing that with the help of a couple local restaurateurs, and the plan is So we've got an initial design. We're going out right now and getting cost estimates on that. The plan would be to essentially take out a mortgage or building loan or whatever, basically bond it, however you want to call it. It can't be a tax-free municipal bond. But the idea then is the rent from the restaurant operator would cover the cost of the construction, the costs of the debt service on the construction cost, and so shouldn't cost taxpayers anything. Adding a restaurant there will be great. One of the other things, in addition to being able to serve the golf course, that area has no restaurants. A lot of new homes in the southwest portion of town, and the only restaurant that was really over in that area was Cartwright's, which closed. Speaking of Cartwright's, we do have a buyer. I've been working with him. We're pursuing some grants to try to restore the restaurant. So he should be taking ownership, I think, next month. One of the first things he's going to do is tear down the horrible add-on kitchens that have degraded so much and are a big part of the eyesore. He's basically going to clean it up, but then the rest will wait until we hear from the restoration grant, because again, we're going to try to get it so that it can be restored. The town, for those who hadn't seen, a garbage truck operator drove through Highland and Marketplace Drive intersection with his forks up and tore down all the lights. So town highway crews worked with the Monroe County redirecting traffic. It was a significant backup because now basically had this major intersection operating essentially as a stoplight, and it was down from basically down from 6 lanes down to 2. But they were able to get all the lights back up and in place before the evening rush hour and reopen the intersection. So kudos to the Monroe County DOT and the town highway crews. They did a great job getting that back up and running. We've got a number of events coming up, working on especially our Hot Little Day Lights and Magic. So you're going to start seeing all the light decorations going up around town. And then we also had a couple groundbreakings. We had a ribbon cutting for the Betty Miller Performing Arts Center. It's in the located within Good Shepherd Hall, which is the restored former Good Shepherd Church. We've been making it ADA compliant and basically turning the front portion into a stage where they will be performing arts. Betty Miller was a longtime director of community theater, as well as other roles. And then we had the groundbreaking for our Educators Grove, which was an initiative started by a number of alum. And the first 2 trees were planted in honor of 2 educators. One of those educators was able to be there. The other one, unfortunately, had passed away, but his daughter was there to see the dedication. So very excited about what's going on. And again, that was started by residents, and we found a location for it. And finally, our newsletter comes out. In fact, I was working on it just before getting on this call. So it'll go to press next week and probably come out just after the holiday. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Well, Rick Milne has got a meeting, so he sent me the following to read. Honeoye Falls is busy with winter preparation and end of fall projects. As has been stated prior, we are in full leaf pickup mode, and we appreciate the nice comments we've received on how fast the crews are working in effort to keep up with it. However, we are asking residents to push to get their leaves raked, blown, etc. to the street side curbs, as we know snow should be coming soon. We'd like to have the leaf pickup process completed by December 6th, if at all possible. Once the snow flies and the freezing weather hits, it becomes very difficult to get this task completed and also creates issues in plowing sidewalks and even roadways and can be a safety hazard. As a reminder, December 14th, beginning at 6:30 p.m., the Honeoye Falls Fire Department will be hosting the annual Christmas Holiday Winter Parade. This is always a fun event. Please note that the majority of West Main Street between the Four Corners and Norton Street will be closed for parking, except with the exception of a couple handicap parking spots. With the amount of people that will attend the event, we must keep West Main Street clear for safety reasons. Next week, we'll try to update the community on other festival or festive seasonal events coming up. From a county perspective, we are entering budget season and the legislative representatives will be reviewing every line of the $1.5 billion proposed budget. I will be focusing, or Rick will be focusing on human services and the DA office budget as part of his assignment. He will be conducting an office hour event at the Village of Honeoye Falls boardroom on Wednesday, November 20th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. That's the advertised time slot. Any local resident that wants to speak with him is welcome to come to the Village Hall, that's 5 East Main Street, at 5:30 p.m. Again, that's November 20th. Lastly, the opening day of the New York State deer hunting season is in the southern zone for whitetail deer season is Saturday, November 16th. Please be very safe, know or be aware of your target, and follow all safety protocols. Enjoy the hunt, but it's more important to be safe and come home at the end of the hunt. That's all from Rick, and now it's over to John Moffett. John, what's happening in Mendon?
Well, I mentioned last week a little bit about our emergency services and the costs related to them, and had a couple of responses from residents, so I wanted to expand on that a little bit. First of all, the fire protection district that I did talk about last week, is north of the Village of Honeoye Falls and covers the west side of the town of Mendon. There is a map on the town website that shows exactly the parameters of that district. And also you can check your county and town tax bill to see if there's a line on there and a charge. But if you are in that fire protection district, with the increased costs, and I know Mayor Milne has talked about this with having paid staffing for the Honeoye Falls Fire Department. So the town of Mendon contracts with the Village of Honeoye Falls and the Honeoye Falls Fire Department for fire protection services in that area. In 2024, the cost to our taxpayers in that area, again, only people who pay for this are the people in the fire protection district. The Mendon Fire District, which is on the east side of town, is a completely separate taxing entity. The cost in 2024 was $190,486. For 2025, the cost to the residents of that fire protection district is $205,782, a $15,000 increase. Those residents will see that increase on their town and county bill, which will come out on or about January 1st. How much is it going to affect my bill? That's the next question. So if you are assessed for $200,000, and I want to emphasize the word assessed, that's not for what you think your house is going to sell for, because as we all know, we've seen various houses sell for way over assessment the last few years. You're looking at a tax rate going from about 75 cents a thousand to 80 cents a thousand, which for a house that's assessed for 200,000 would be about a $10 a year increase. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the ambulance, because there again, the town of Mendon contracts with the Village of Honeoye Falls for ambulance service. The ambulance is a department of the Village of Honeoye Falls. That cost has increased dramatically as well. In 2024, the cost of that to now this cost affects all residents in the town of Mendon outside the village of Honeoye Falls. That cost was $634,938. 2025, $683,702, a $49,000 increase. You will not feel that increase in your tax bill because that is part of the town tax and we've been able to absorb that amount and keep that from being an increase to our residents. One of the things that drives both of these increases are the amount of paid staff members, the fact that volunteerism is down, and the town of Mendon did have a committee a year or so ago talking about merging some services. And I certainly encourage both the Mendon Fire District, the Village of Honeoye Falls, and the town of Mendon, because the town of Mendon's board is the de facto fire commissioners for the Fire Protection District, to consider some type of a merger or thereabouts for emergency services. It's become a business. It's no longer a volunteer organization. When I was a youngster living on Pier Street, there was a volunteer at the end of the street. My mother used to make me come inside when the fire whistle went off because that volunteer was hustling down to the firehouse to serve our community. So I'm going to ask that all residents, please take a look at this on your tax bill. Please consider some type of activity that may be able to decrease costs in the long run by some type of a merger. And I think it would be in everyone's best interest in the future. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, John. Over to Mike in the town of Lima. What's Lima looking like, Mike?
Hello, Chris. Thanks for having us all again. The DAR flag display that was placed for Veterans Day in front of the town hall at our war memorial is still there. If you've not had a chance to take a look, it is quite impressive. Thank you to the DAR chapter for doing that. The regiment program, which again is part of Legion Post 282 and is a nationwide effort to stem the tide of veteran suicide, is almost completed with its fundraising. They've got a couple $1,000s left before they can go ahead and pull the trigger and set up the gaming systems, which are the lifeline for those veterans getting out to connect with those they left in their unit and those that got out ahead of them. It's that first year of getting out of service when veterans most often commit suicide. Nationally, this has been a great program. Glad that Legion Post 282 is at the forefront here. This is the first node in the state of New York. Crossroads has announced the charities for 2025 for the festival in the summer. Again, we will be funding the hospice, Teresa House, which is in Geneseo, the Lima Ambulance Corps, and new this year is FISH, which is Friends in Service here. This is a sort of a regional HFL effort to provide rides for those who need rides to medical appointments and that sort of thing. Annually they struggle with their budget, and so this year we'll be placing them on the Crossroads charity list too. The tree lighting at the Lima Town Hall will be on November 30th, 6 p.m. This is Small Business Saturday. It is the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, and we do that here annually. The tree gets lit. The Rotary is providing hot chocolate and those sorts of things out front. There will be some caroling and many other good things. So come on out and see all of your neighbors to kick off the holiday season. Lima's Kenneth B. Keating Post 26 will be holding its annual collection for veterans in nursing care and hospitals on Saturday, December 7th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. here at the Lima Town Hall. All items must be new in the packaging. The list is razors, shaving gel, toothbrushes, toothpaste, combs, nail clippers and files, cotton swabs, makeup, dental floss, shampoo, body wash, socks, underwear, sweatpants, sweatshirts, t-shirts, books, and those sorts of things. Anything to make a long-term care stay comfortable. The Normal Barbecue is now making its own sausage. You can eat it at the restaurant, take it out for purchase, or grill it yourself. Stop in and talk with Adam about the details, or give him a call, 585-484-0170. Lima's Fire Department is having their annual raffle, and it is winding down. The drawing is going to be December 14th back here in Lima after the giant parade in Honeoye Falls. Tickets are available from any Lima Fire Department member, and they will be on sale at the tree lighting November 30th. So come on out and see if we can make all of those tickets disappear. Thanks to the Lima Rotary for preparing a great Thanksgiving dinner for the senior citizens this past week. Thanks also to the Scouts who were there to serve the meals and beverages. If you are a Lima resident or former Lima resident, and you are 55 years or older, please consider joining the Lima Golden Agers. You too can know about the great opportunities like this Thanksgiving dinner for food and fellowship, which happen every month. Call 585-749-6500 for details on joining. And if you join now, you'll be signing up in time for the Christmas party at Fanatics on December 10th. And lastly, if you want to be part of moving Lima into a healthier future, consider attending the Be Well in Lima committee meetings. The group is dedicated to eating better, moving more, and stressing less. You may have seen the display table they had at the Pumpkin Festival. This program is part of Be Well in Livingston. Lima is the third town to launch this program, and there have been great health benefits in both Nunde and Mount Morris due to their groups. Now, this is our turn. Help out if you can. Give me a call here at the town hall if you are interested, and I can go over the details with you. 585-582-1130. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. John, Steve, I still see you're still on. Do you guys have anything more to say, or are we done? Seeing
Bills.
nothing. Go Bills. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for everybody to be here, being here today. Thank you all for watching. Remember, we're on every Sunday. We air every Sunday at 1 p.m. And that's on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page, subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the program begins to be broadcast. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in the paper. That's all for this week. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.